Монголын урлагийн зөвлөлөөс тогтмол явуулдаг Урлагтай яриа подкастыг эхлэхэд бэлэн боллоо. Өнөөдөр би хоёр их сонин зочин урьд чад байж байгаа. Улаанбаатар хотноо 17 дахь удаага зохион байгуулагдж байгаа Улаанбаатар олон улсын кино наадмын зочид өнөөдөр миний зочноор оролцож байна. Кино наадам маань бол онцгой нийслэлийн соёлын амьдралд онцгой байр суурийг эзэлдэг. Би сая хэлснээр бол 17 жил дараалан бид нар энэ арга хэмжээг одоо хамтран зүтгэгч нартайгаа нийлээ зохион байгуулж байгаа. Олон улсын гэдэг нэр нь бол цаанаа их утга учиртай. Яагаад гэвэл бид нар дэлхийн кино урлагийн чиг хандлагыг тодорхойлдог тийм уран бүтээлчдийн хийсэн зүйлийг Монголын үзэгчдэд төлөөлөхөд дэмжлэг тусцаа үзүүлэх. Дээр нь манай Монголын залуу уран бүтээлчдийг олон улсын тавцнаа гаргахад нь дэмжлэг тусцаа үзүүлэх. Мөн түүнчлэн уран бүтээлчид гадаадын болон дотоодын уран бүтээлчид хоорондоо бие биенээ танилцаж сүлжээгээ бий болгоход нь дэмжлэг тусцаа үзүүлж байгаа ийм чухал арга хэмжээ гэж ойлгож байгаа. Мөн түүнчлэн манай үзэгчид ямар ч байсан дэлхийн кино урлагийн чиг хандлагаас хосрохгүй тэдэнтэй одоо цуг алхдаггүй маа гэхэд хосрохгүйгээр юмыг үзэх юм болцоог олгож байгаагаар их сайхан арга хэмжээ гэж бид нар ойлгож байгаа. За ингээд би өнөөдөр өрсөн зочдоо танилцуулъя. Хатагтай Тэн Ли. Энэ хүн бол Хонконгд байдаг олон улсын кино кампийн бас удирдах юм ажилтан байж байгаа. Захирал нь дээр нь алс холын Финландаас ирсэн Юка Пакка Лаксо гэдэг энэ ноёнтон бол Финландын Тампере гэж хот байдаг. Тэр Тампере хотод байдаг кино наадмыг захирал нь байгаа. Энэ кино наадам бол хотын жилийн түүхтэй. Европт бол нэлээд алдартай ийм хүмүүсүүдийг би одоо урьж байгаа туйлын баяртай. So I'm extremely happy to have you, both of you, as guests of the podcast Artsy Talk, which is done by the Arts Council of Mongolia. We believe that it is an important tool for us to let more people know what is really happening in the art and culture life of Mongolia. At the same time, we try to educate the audience, the young people, kids, about arts and culture, as well as to promote artists, the art workers, what they do, and definitely also to give tribute to those people who support us, to give contributions, and as well as help us to do our job. And so thank you very much for accepting our invitation and being the guest of our podcast.
Thank you for having us.
So, Liang,
Yes.
I start with a question about your institution.
That's the Asia Film Awards Academy.
And as well as International
Film Camp.
Film Camp.
Yes. Okay. Asia Film Awards Academy. Actually, we started back in 2007. We were known as the Asia Film Awards that give recognitions to Asian filmmakers. So over the years, we have given awards to renowned filmmakers from Asia, which include Kurosawa, which include Koreeda, Zhang Yimou, and then also Irfan Khan from India and from Iran. So from all the Asia region. And then in year 2017, we started to have a strategic collaboration with the three biggest Asian film festival in Asia, which is Hong Kong International Film Festival, and then we have Busan International Film Festival and Tokyo International Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
So we hosted the award presentation every year in March we did that in
Where, in Hong Kong?
In Hong Kong, and then now it's in. So we give recognitions to all the filmmakers from Asia region. So yes, which include Mongolia, Southeast Asia, South Asia. So as long as it's in Asia, so there all the filmmakers get recognized. And also about the best screenplay, and we also have the upcoming filmmakers, directors, scriptwriters, and all that. So then in 2024, we started the flagship program of Asia Film Awards Academy, which is International Film Camp. Because before we have this camp, we actually do support the touring of the film by the young filmmakers in Hong Kong and Macau to go to different festivals. And also another initiative is that the Hong Kong and the Macau government actually funded students in the filmmaking sector or school to go to different festivals so that they get to know about what's happening outside than in the Asia region. So then the chairman himself is of opinion that this is where the future is, the power of the cinematic language to tell the world about Asian story, the Asian way. So together, the idea is that you have all the filmmakers from Asia to come together, and that we are there to be creative, dare to be innovative, and dare to dream. So you come with a very Asian story to the world, and that's where it started, this international film camp. So it's fully supported by the Hong Kong government, Hong Kong Film Council, Macau Film Council, and then also by China, Sense China, the group in Macau. So I think if you look at that, the prize that were given for a short film, it's actually, you can't find that in anywhere else for a camp, which is about 300,000 Hong Kong dollar for a short film that it's 15 to 20 minutes. And it's given to filmmakers that have made some short films before and no more than one feature films. So the difference of this camp is that we don't just stop at completing your script or just stop at some guidance on editing and all. It's a very comprehensive and thorough. So it actually helps filmmaker to be ready to move on to the next steps in their career. So
do we have beneficiaries from Mongolia?
Yes. So the first edition of International Film Camp, which held in 2024, that's last year, the Mongolian winner is Duma, because I'm sorry, I can't read his name, it's too long, which is a south-facing windows, that actually depict what we see in her film, short film, The Project, is that it really depicts what is Ulaanbaatar's life today. Because we have a theme every year. This is our second edition this year. So last year, the theme is My Hometown. So when we saw this project from Duma, we see that it's something that the outsiders would be very interested to know what Ulaanbaatar is actually now, today. So he got the award and he made the film. And then we're very happy because he then go to Locarno and he got 2 awards there. Also had the world premiere in Toronto.
Wow.
Yes, and then now it's ongoing to other festival and so on. So that's the Mongolian winner from IFC in 2024.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Leah. Yuka, now can we talk about your film festival? I understand that this is one of the oldest film festivals.
It is old. It's I always say that the idea of the festival came in 1968 to some young people who were at the Tampere University, and the student union was instrumental in the first phase. And after that, the city of Tampere adopted the film festival quite well. And the idea was very simple then in early 70s, was that there are a lot of short films that people don't have a chance to see.
When we say short films, what do you mean for our audience?
Well, short films for us is films that are no more than 30 minutes long.
Half an hour.
Yes, but the thing is that this is what is very often asked from me, is what is a short film? And my answer is very often that there is no such thing as a short film. And we are not interested in this length of the film. I think that there is a commercial film which is in the cinemas, which is about 90 minutes to 2 hours long. If you are Quentin Tarantino nowadays, it's 3 hours.
Yes.
But then there is this a free cinema where the film is exactly as long as it has to be. Maybe it is 3 hours, maybe it's 5 hours, but we concentrate on those films that are under 30 minutes just for convenience, because it's easier to make people understand. So this is what I call free cinema and free films, and this is what we show, where the subject matter and the filmmaker decide how long the film is, not the marketplace in a way. So short films. For convenience, we call ourselves Short Film Festival because that's what people understand. And 30 minutes is not a standard. Some festivals show films under 20 minutes. For some festivals, the limit is 40 minutes or 60 minutes. Ours has always been 30 minutes. And from the beginning, when we started, the model of a film festival was that there is competition. So we have an international competition almost from the start. And this is also one way of getting interest to the festival from all around the world. So this is our core, but we also have Finnish competition and a lot of special programs, but almost entirely concentrating on short films. And of course then the world has changed from the 70s when the festival really started. So we are talking about the time of celluloid. So every film was a physical thing made on celluloid. So and the number of films.
You mean the films?
It was the film.
Yeah.
So it was real film.
Yeah.
And physical thing, and it was of course complicated to how you select the films, because you needed to transport the films to Finland, or we had to go abroad to select the films.
Yeah, you know, there is a story. When I traveled in 1986 from Ulaanbaatar to New York City, I was bringing with me a Mongolian movie, Kart Magne, 10 boxes, heavy boxes. I was carrying it in my hands, and I was flying with the airliner, and then it was so heavy, so I can remember that.
And then of course you have to go through customs.
Also customs, yeah, complicated. Yeah.
Exactly. The thing is that then, so that was one time, and there was only so many films made in the world, short films. There was a big film scene at that time, for instance, in East European countries, in Soviet Union, but also a lot of films were produced by commercial companies. So then things have changed a lot, and the technology has changed our way of doing. So now, of course, if you want to see short films, there are hundreds of thousands of short films that you can get from the internet now. So our policy has not changed in a way. We still want to bring good short films on big screens in cinemas. But now it is more on our selection of those films, which is unique, not the chance to see short films in itself. And also what has happened, of course, we have grown bigger. We used to have just one screen. Now we are showing on 5 screens, but still for 5 days, very concentrated, happening from morning till night. And we have more and more also people who are working within cinema.
How many films you have at one festival?
At the moment we show approximately 300 films, 300 to 350 films
For 5 days.
for 5 days.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, and one of the complaints we get is that we are showing too much because you cannot see all. We are teasing people that basically that we give the impression that there is always more. And especially for professionals, it's even more frustrating because on top of the films that we are showing, we are also running, at least for 3 days, also all kinds of workshops, discussions, and other occasions where you can meet other filmmakers and the filmmakers can meet the audiences. So I would call that we create a pressure cooker for a few days. And this is also one of the things that we try to do is create this pressure cooker or a bubble where people who are working with cinema, who are interested in cinema, where they get a lot of impressions of something different and new, where they get a feeling that everything is possible because we are showing all dimensions of filmmaking. And this is, I think, one of the important things for especially short film festivals, to encourage people to be brave, encourage them to think differently. So this is what we are now from the beginning.
Thank you, Yuka. A question to both of you. It's as you just mentioned that things have changed a lot since you started your film festival, technology-wise, audience-wise, the taste of people to the films. What is the current tendency in Asian filmmaking in this regard, in general, in Europe and in the world, to both of you?
Do you want to start?
Well, in Asia, what we can see the trend as what we notice in terms of the applicants to the camp, comparing 2024 and 2025, is that they are collaborations, co-production. So in the sense that because of they are tapping onto whatever resources available in Asia region. So for example, we have director from Indonesia, producer from Thailand, editor from Taiwan, and we also have some of the cast which are all from this different region, and they come together, and when they're looking for funding part, what they will do is that they will tap into respective film councils and then also individual investors in their own respective country, and come together and they create that film. And this film itself will also not just considering for festival, because one of the aim for the camp that we have is also to give them a platform to know about the festival, like Cannes, Berlinale and all. But aside from this, what are the festival that suits your type of film? And then also to get them have a face-to-face talk with the industry player, for example, from the cinema exhibitor side, from the seller, from the buyer, and also we get them to face have a discussion with the real filmmaker and festival thing. So this is how the trend is working outside.
That's
co-production.
very interesting, Lian. I'm glad that you raised this issue, because what is missing now in among young Mongolian filmmakers is that this co-production.
Yes.
And probably one of the gateways for them should be your institution, and you can help them to find the right colleagues and the right spirit for these young people, filmmakers, to work together, because the ideas are plenty here.
Yeah.
But to realize these ideas and to make them to happen is something that you need probably a little bit support from the institutions and from the platforms like yours. And so I hope that your visit this time should bring some fruits, and then young people or young Mongolian filmmakers will benefit from this. How about you?
Well,
Yuka?
I can also see that, especially in Southeast Asia, there is a lot of cooperation across the borders. And there's also, I know that there are, when it comes to short film, and even I think a little bit on the feature film, there are already people who help filmmakers in different countries to find an outlet for their films. And as I'm dealing mostly with short films, this is the place where filmmakers have a chance to show their talent, show their difference, and hopefully then they will also be noticed in their own countries and given a chance to go further in their career. In the short films, as anywhere else, it seems that there are these trends, or fashions in a way, that you can sort of spot from the films that are selected to film festivals, to short film festivals, and then the filmmakers that get noticed also in the West. And for instance, in recent years, I have actually been a little bit worried because there's kind of a trend of films that are coming, especially again from Southeast Asia, from Cambodia, Vietnam, and maybe also Malaysia and Indonesia. Maybe less in Indonesia, but especially in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand, where we have again a little bit of the attitude of Orientalism towards the East.
Yes.
And the thing is that we kind of seem to like, I'm not, let's say we, when I talk about all the festivals in Europe, is these mysterious films where we cannot understand everything, and you know, the mysterious East.
Yes.
And this is for me a little bit problematic, because we are again doing the same thing as the West has had as an attitude towards Asia, is mystifying it and not really wanting to learn the realities and the today of Asia.
Yes.
And this is something that is happening. At the same time, I mean, I cannot say that I'm not guilty of this sin too, of course, because this is what you basically learn. But at least we try in Tampere also to see films that are really telling the life as it really is, and not seen through the lenses of what we want to have.
Yeah.
And there is one trend also, not just this, that, you know, Oriental mystery of Oriental people and life, but what I'm also worried in Europe, that we seem to like to see the rest of the world miserable.
Yeah.
We want to see poverty and problems, which of course they make good drama in a way, but we should also try to get films that are telling the true story of the world. And this is something that it's not easy to find, and they also, when these films that show misery or mystique always get to the festivals, then it's sort of a circle that strengthens itself. Because one thing that we are serious in Tampere, and I think a lot of my colleagues are also, is that we do care about what kind of image we give to our spectators of the world. We see cinema not as just as an entertainment, but a possibility to learn, to educate yourself in many different levels.
And
So
when I asked about changing audiences, so the audience, say 30 years ago, was their preferences were one, today are different, or it's the same?
Well, I think in Asia, pretty much same in the sense that cinema is actually to them a temporary escapism from the harshness in life. So, for example, why you see the Indian movie 3 hours long with 7 to 8 songs, and you know the justice, you get it in there, the rich and the poor, and then the poor will eventually get, you know, all that, the evil and all, because it's where they escape from the caste, the harsh society things and life. And then now in the modern days, to the youngsters, because like in Southeast Asia especially, because you compare your income, the rising in your cost of living and all. So cinema, they can't afford to buy a house, or they can't afford to own a car and all when they first come out, because cinema goers are basically early 20s. So they may still need to get some money from the parents and all, and to go to a cinema is actually a lifestyle that is not cheap, because your ticket plus your popcorn and everything may cost you about 20 to 30 US dollar just for one show. So it's a luxury lifestyle that they can afford. So when they go to cinema, what they want to see is visual excitement, something that is exciting for them, the sound and so on. So if you have movies like a drama, art house and all that, it's tough for them to really want to go for it. So usually you see the box office film, it's horror, disasters, and you know, criminal kind of things that really strike them. And if you want to talk about art house and cinema festival type of film, it's only those done by a film festival or film council from respective country, embassies and all. So I think that's similar across Southeast Asia in that sense. They switch. And a lot of that actually goes to streaming platform, especially with the smartphones and all. In fact, if you look at it in just Malaysia alone, the smartphone of all the different brands, the ownership of the latest model is like almost 98% among youngsters that are in their early 20s. So they spend a lot of time surfing through the internet on their smartphone and all, and they consume that. So that's a switch in terms of how they watch the movie and content itself. Because like what you guys just brought it up, is to them there is no concept of like a movie has to be 2 hours, 1.5 hours, or whatever. But to them it's what they see that attract them. So the spending of on average for them on their smartphone a day is almost 4.5 hours.
You have to screen hundreds of films, I assume, to pick up for your festival. How many films do you usually watch?
Well, personally, I watch every year now for several years, somewhere around 2,000 short films, maybe more. I have not dared to count them, because I do every year when we are finishing the selection. I remember I have this feeling that I am telling myself that I have to get a life when because I'm watching day in and day out the last 2-3 weeks before we make the selection. And the number of films that are offered to us has risen. Now we get something like 7,000. This year it might be close to 8,000 films. And we have seen this trend for a long time. There are countries that make huge number of short films, like France and Spain in Europe, South Korea, immense number of short films. And then, of course, your neighbor China is becoming more and more. There's a huge number of skilled people who are making short films now, and we get more of them. So the selection has become more difficult in the numbers, and in a way, I think that when it comes to the quality of the films, there's always the top of. It's kind of a pyramid. That a pyramid always has the top. But when the base of the pyramid is broader, also the top gets higher. So this is, let's say, one of the challenges that we have, to pick up the relevant films of this immense number. But then you just try to work that. And by the way, on the audiences at Tampere Film Festival, what is sort of interesting, we do surveys every now and then on our audiences, and it's surprising that a lot of people, for instance, we ask that how many times you have visited Tampere Film Festival before, and you get people who are saying that 5 times, 15 times, or 30 times. So what we do have, and I know a lot of these people, their faces basically, when we have these people who come back, then we know that we have a future, because we cannot sell our films with the names of big stars or saying that this is exactly like the other film, because that's what we try to avoid.
Not to be.
Yes. So in commercial cinema, you are selling your Fast and Furious number 6 or 7 or whatever, or Superman 5 or something like that. Our films are always something new and surprising. But to tell people that we have something new by people you never heard of, it's not a good selling point nowadays. But when you basically catch a person once, not everybody, but when you catch someone and they see something that they did not know that existed, many people get interested, and then we have people who say that they are waiting for the festival, and that's our strategy.
Yeah, that's great. This time you had also to see quite a number of Mongolian films as a member of the international jury, and you have also watched probably some works.
I watched the short film, the short film part. Yeah.
So, what can you say about my young fellow country filmmakers?
Well, first of all, of course, I had not been exposed to many Mongolian films before. I had seen some short films every year. Actually, why I'm here, I think, started because 3 years ago we had a Mongolian film in our competition, and I met people from here who came to Tampere, and this is how it works. So when I started watching, I did not have basically any expectations. And then when I was watching the film, I was really surprised, surprised, I would say, on the what you could call production value, the skill of filmmakers, and also that there were, different kind of films. There was action, crime film. There was even some comedic elements, and very different kind of films. And I learned a lot, which I always appreciate when I watch films from different countries. I understood that there is a lively rap scene in Mongolia. I didn't know that heavy metal music also exists in Mongolia before. But I was thinking that the amount of money that people have to spend here on making their films, it's not great. So I had some background information. I could see that these are Mongolian productions and not international. And I was surprised that sometimes I was thinking that I wish Finnish filmmakers could actually make the kind of scenes that those films had when it comes to professionalism and also creating atmospheres with a lot of people. So this was a really a surprise, and I'm a Finn, so I'm not a polite. I always say the truth about these things. So I think that there is, like there is in many other countries, good professionals, good professional filmmakers. Modern technology, of course, is helping a lot nowadays compared to only like 10 years ago when it comes to getting the images. But I was mostly surprised and grateful for also in the documentaries to get the feel of the country, of the harsh winter and different things. So it was a tough. Like I watched all films, I think in altogether less than 5 days. So it was really a crash course on Mongolian filmmaking. But surprise and
So you see some hope that filmmaking in Mongolia has future.
Definitely, and the thing is that, for instance, in some countries I have difficult to relate the style or the way of the filmmaking. For instance, for us at the festival, and I think that for a lot of people in the world, Black Africa countries are really difficult because their film culture is so different. In Nigeria, they make I think as much films as they do in India. So they are talking about
700.
About huge numbers. But the thing is that what I have seen from there, it's not, you cannot relate them. They are so local in their style and subject matter. But the thing is that the films that I saw from Mongolia, I could very well imagine them in Western screens. The problem, of course, is that when it comes to cinema nowadays, whether it is in cinemas or on streaming services or on TV, it is more and more concentrated on the sure American things. Even in Europe, European films have difficult to travel across the borders, which is, it's funny, we're supposed to have a single market in European Union, but in cinema it's not. So I don't see any reason why the Mongolian films could not travel, except of course there are some things. For instance, humor is difficult.
Yes.
So comedy, I know it from Finnish films and from German films. Don't try to bring comedy to another country. It will not work. So more serious films, yes.
Good piece of advice to our filmmakers.
Yes, because comedy is very local.
Yeah.
For me, my first, like I shared, that was in 2002 when I first watched a Mongolian movie, The Escape of the Yellow Dog, and then followed by I think 2003 or 4, that is 2 Years Wedding. So then I started to introduce this film to Malaysia audience and was really good feedback. And they asked about, oh, where is this in Mongolia? Well, I can only tell this is the grassland. So then I started to look for more Mongolian film, but I couldn't have access to find like from Mongolia, this part of Mongolia, but I do get a lot of those film made from your neighbor, which is the Inner Mongolia website. By the Mongolian filmmakers there, and you have a lot of interesting stories. The way they tell the stories compared to the shots and the first impression I get from the movie here in Ulaanbaatar when I'm here is that I can still find the originality and rawness in some of the story and films that I saw in the other part of Mongolia. But here I find that especially when the filmmakers are making short films and all, they make it with the intention that they want to go for festival. So then you see that the story and the way they tell the filmmaking itself are being influenced with elements that they try to please and to make sure that the chances to be in the festival is there. Which I look at it and I was cheering.
You can feel it, huh?
Yes, I said, are you looking, when you make this, are you aiming at this festival? He said, oh, how do you know that? So then I told them, I said that, in fact, if your story, you keep it to your originality and focus, you don't have to please anybody. If I'm interested in it, I will find it, I will come to you. So that's the impression I get from, and I met few of them. And
Okay.
so when I listen to them, I say, stay to your originality, focus, and tell your story the way you tell. You don't have to please anyone. You don't have to think of anything, because when I watch that, I can feel it, and it enticed me that I'm curious. I was interested when I see that you have this shaman drum and you talk about true strangers meet. But when I watch that, I say, do you have this Berlinale in your mind when you shoot this thing? He said, oh, yes. But I say, if you have not have that in your mind, the story is so interesting. Yeah, so it's so Mongolian that I can feel it. And if you show it to audience in Southeast Asia, they will be interested because they have something similar, like the shaman in Southeast Asia, because in that region we have a lot of all this similar kind of beliefs and practice.
Thank you, Lian. I think, and Yuka, I hope that our podcast will be watched by our young filmmakers, and that they will get, at least as I got, two very important messages. That trying to please the audience with hardships doesn't work any longer as it used to be in the past. This is a very important thing. Secondly is that don't try to make your product only for one festival or for one event, but it should be really for wider audience. It should be for the general people, and it should be as original as it is in life. So it's very important. But I think that it is natural that young people will try to do different things and try to find their own ways to be successful also on the international market. And from that standpoint, we can understand them.
Yes.
But it's very good that people like you can give your advice so that they will digest it, and then also to make their own judgment, and then also to make their own way of doing things, given in mind what you just said. It's also a very important thing. Thank you very much. About artificial intelligence, what do you think? How does it already affect filmmaking, or how do you see the impact of artificial intelligence?
Well, it does affect in a bad way when it comes to short film, because people, or at least what we read, is that the world is so excited about AI that it will change everything. And I have seen for not a long time, it's really new. I see short films where it says on the notes that maybe the script was made in the help with AI, or that the images are made totally by AI. And I have found basically among dozens, I have found only one film that was using it in a clever way. Because AI, when you prompt artificial intelligence to make images, it can make strange, really things that are changing all the time. And it can, in this film, it kind of created kind of dream sequence within the film. But it was just part of the film where it became surreal and dreamy-like, and it fit in quite well, these created images. I'm sure that AI can help young filmmakers, for instance, to make even like a script. You can ask AI to make a script about boy meets girl in this place, having a problem like that. And I'm sure that AI can give you a script, a total script for that. But the script will be just emulating, just copying of the existing ones, and not necessarily in a good way. So it's giving you the average, and it's giving you always what already exists, just combining things that are the most usual one. So yes, you can write a script, but it's not a good one because it lacks in a way the individual's touch. And then of course it might be even that you take this kind of script, but to turn it into a film, for instance, Boy Meets Girl, it has been done so many times, and every now and then you see the film where the script is like this, but the way it is done, how the images are created, how the interaction between the boy or girl, or sometimes two boys, or sometimes two girls, whatever, it's done in a visual way that captures your heart. And this is how it is, that we are talking about creativity that is very hard for AI to do because they can copy the standard thing, but not the individual thing.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I agree with Yuka because it is a good tool, especially if you are using it as certain part of the film, be it a feature or a short film. And it is something interesting if you use it for animation, because that's where it can actually help in terms of the time of production of animation and so on. But you can tell if it is an AI and all, because there is, like we said, there's no individual touch, human touch, and also because there is no creativity aspect, because they only take from whatever that is already existed. And so for you, when you look into it, the problem with a lot of the young filmmaker as of today is that they don't read enough, they don't watch enough. So when they have these issues, so when they prompt AI to give them the script, to give them the visuals, everything, so when we watch that, we say, hey, isn't this the scene in this movie? Isn't this the dialogue in this, this show, and so on? So that is one of their the issue if they don't know how to really use AI. So we use AI also sometimes in our presentation, sometimes in some of the things that we want to do it like clear and fast and just true. So we just prompt them, I want this, and that. But once we get that to us is like a frame that, the structure is there. But again, we will still look into it that this is not right, this is it. So you need to do that yourself. But if you have not watched enough or read enough, you fall for it. Yeah.
And there is still, when it comes to making films, or actually making any kind of art, so like Stanley Kubrick has said, is that all good artists borrow from other artists, and great artists, they steal.
Yes.
So the thing is that when it comes to cinema, it is a combination of other arts, of course, and like any art, it is building on what has existed before.
Yes.
But then to make it special is that you put something there which is creativity.
Yes.
And actually with artificial intelligence, I wish we would be talking about large language models, what it is really, and drop the intelligence word from this, because it gives people, I think, the wrong impression what it's all about.
Yeah, and the perception, so they just get into that. And I think the other things that is a challenge is that for artificial intelligence, AI, is the copyrights thing. Because you do not know where the source of all this information that put together to what you have, the piece of that. So that's another thing that will take some time to overcome, because they can even use your voice, your everything,
your images.
Images. But what they still can't, even a lip sync they can, but what they can still not do is your eyes, because everything, that's where our soul is, right? So you can use AI, avatar and everything, but the eyes is something that you can never replace.
Or not, at least not yet.
Yes.
So when I was young, a child, and then when I was young, movies, cinemas were probably the main entertainment tool. Things have changed these days. And for filmmakers to attract the audience, and also even for the festivals, it's an issue. You are a strategist, as I understand, and you work on strategy. What kind of advice can you give?
Well, for most of the young filmmakers I work with them and all, I always tell them, if you want to be a good director, you have to experience every single role in a production. Because sometimes they will say, I'm a director, so I'm just to direct. But if you have an acting experience before, if you have done a even set or prop or whatever role in the production, that actually will help you to even better know how to direct. And at the same time, I also told them, never ever say no to new media, technology, and also stay close to your society. You're not, in a closed-up world, because many of them, when they come up with a story and the way they tell, is like, it's very obvious they have not really paid attention to what has actually happened in their surrounding, in their life, or even say between when I talk to some of the youngsters, and they were like, oh, I'm going to go to Berlin, I'm going to go here. So they just go out, but without even think back of so I asked them, what exactly you want when you go there? Do you think that this is where it helps? So they need to be clear on where they stand and how to tell their thing. Is not to be what other people see them. Yeah, and also they tends to have they follow the success of others. They try to reach there as fast as possible, without proper thinking of that. Yeah, it works for this goal, but what's next? So I asked one of them, they say, oh, I make this film. I say, before you make your film and everything, can you tell me where is your audience and who is your audience? Do you think the story will work? Then he starts to reflect and he said, I actually have not think of any of that. I just think of myself. So that's where I said, but cinema is a language, is the world language. Because when I watch movie, I may not know the language, but when I go in there, I see the flow, the setting, the sound, the actions, gesture. I can relate to it. I can tell. I watch Hindi movies when I'm young. I can't even know, but I sing and dance follow that because you feel it, right? And then I watch Korean film, Japanese film, and all. I don't know the language, but I can go for it because that's the language that you can bring you travel to the world and let others know you. But if your movie is something that is only for yourself, and you ask me as an investor to come to invest, or as a producer to come in to work with you to produce this with you and bring it out, I will say, you can't even tell me where your audience, who is your audience. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the thing is that in a way, I think that actually people are watching some kind of film, some kind of moving images more than ever. You are overwhelmed by moving images nowadays. It's always on your pocket. Yeah. And the thing is that I find that this is like expanding possibilities for. I take cinema seriously. I'm not serious when I'm doing it, but I take cinema seriously, and I like films that capture my heart and or my brain, or both. It's not just that gives me a pastime for 3 minutes or 30 seconds or whatever a TikTok thing is. I'm not into that. I've never used. I don't know how it is. But the thing is that also these tools and these ways of doing things, I think that they are in a way meaningful. They are part of audiovisual culture. Yes. A lot of it nowadays, unfortunately, is harmful. Also, one has to confess that. But what is interesting, I think, is that cinema, even cinema in cinema screens, have survived that because it gives some of the people the feeling which is much stronger than you can get at home or you can get from a small screen. So everything we had when we were children, we still have.
Yeah.
But then we have the other possibilities. Like when we were young, we had record players and records, but it was very expensive to buy one, and you cherish that. Now in your pocket you have something which has access to all the world music, which is kind of a beautiful thing. And but at the same time, young people have gone back and they buy vinyl records.
Yes.
Sure.
Because it is a different thing. So everything is built, and the old things seem to still survive on that.
Yeah, that's true, because people predicted that with the arrival of internet, that cinemas and newspapers will have
And already
future.
radio was supposed to kill
Radio.
cinema in
And so
1920s.
now we are coming back, and all of them are still existing, and we are enjoying different medias, and so we shall see how it goes further on.
Yeah.
I understand that now, from what you just said, that in Asia we have a recognition Asia Award, for the film. How about Europe? We know Oscar, but about
there
Europe?
is European Film Awards, and there is European Film Academy.
Of which you are a member.
I'm a member, yes. And the system is about the same. But the thing is that even in Europe, people know about Oscars, because the power of American movie industry. Because I say that in Europe we make films, and in United States it's movies. They have been so overwhelming with their marketing and just the amount of also, I would say, money and talent that has been put for so long time in cinema in United States, that in Europe we are sort of far behind. And also Europe still is made of even European Union and the larger Europe is made of 30, 40 small countries with their own culture. And it's very difficult because we not all films travel well across the borders, especially the comedy. And United States, and one could say United States and Canada are one cultural sphere where they share
the same language.
And of course they share also a lot of the same kind of attitude towards cinema and other culture. Except that, of course, also in the United States, they live in two different cultures. So there is the American culture, but then there is also the Latino culture, which is sort of a little bit different. And they have all the maybe your ancestors moved to United States like 2 or 3 generations ago, but you still have your Irish associations, your Polish associations. So they are living in these two kind of things. But in European Union, the idea of nationalism is still so strong that it also affects the culture in many ways. And then, of course, in European Union, we have a lot of co-production. But there's a lot of things that are wrong with European cooperation. But with the co-productions tend to be that everybody has their say and nobody is happy in the ending. So it's still something to do. So even in Finland, for instance, I can watch on TV live the Oscar gala coming in the middle
Here
of the
too.
night.
We can watch it here too.
Yes, in a very uncomfortable time in Finland, because in the middle of the night he also.
Yeah,
But
12 hours difference, or even more.
But I don't think, maybe in France or maybe in Germany, they actually have the European Film Awards live on TV, but nowhere else. So we are trying, but it's not let's say, easy for them also because the resources of the European Film Academy are much smaller than the Academy in the United States.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, you arrived in Mongolia less than a week ago, and so your first time to Mongolia?
First time here,
How about
yes.
you?
First time.
First time?
Yes.
Wow. So probably you can share your impressions and about this country, and probably you have some wishes for the film's future, the film festival future.
Well, my first impression of Ulaanbaatar is exactly as how it was in the short film by Duma. That was a south-facing window. I arrived into the traffic jam, and I see all the construction around, and as I walk around the Ulaanbaatar, and I talk to the locals, I spend time with those young filmmakers. Then I go to the local cinemas and all. I see that there's a huge potential. I think what is lacking is the connection with the outside. Outside means like beside the conventionally you will go to Germany, you go to European side, or you go to Korea and some to Japan. There's other part of Asia that is there, and there are differences, but there are a lot of similarity. And if you go to Asia, say for example, Southeast Asia, and also you've been to Penang, and also you can tell that there's no time difference, and that people there has got the similar kind of background as the young filmmakers here, who are always continuously looking for opportunity to go out. And then you can see that we have all sort of film festival there, and to try to make something happen for the region, which till today I don't think that you have one really good festival from Southeast Asia. But at least now we see that Asia Film Awards is one that bring all of us together. And because of the booming of the industry in China in terms of their box office and all, it does give a platform. So I think for the Ulaanbaatar Film Festival and all, there is a possibility for the collaboration with some of this festival. Like for example, AFA is the combination of 3 influential festival in Asia. That is Hong Kong, Korea, and Japan. And from there, they have the sort of like a partnership with local member countries. So they do show film, like a bit of a pop-up kind of concept in Cambodia, in Thailand, in Dubai, So that gives people a platform, a channel to come and show the film. So like I shared with the AFA executive director, I said that it would be good if there is a special kind of film being showed in Mongolia together with Ulaanbaatar International Festival. That give a platform for here to be connected to the others, because not just Cannes, Berlinale, that it's where they should go, because a lot of the film here, in fact, will works even better and open up the possibility in Asia region, because we are closer, and a lot of the things are more relatable to us. Yeah.
And the mere fact that your participation is very important in that sense, because as you said, we are still lacking, wider cooperation, wider communication, and wider exposure. So I think this kind of exchange is very important. How about you, Yuka?
Well, here coming, I find it not familiar, but there is something that's so easy to get along with people from here, which is, again, in some other places that I have visited, it's not happening. So this is one thing. For me, coming from the airport, I noticed also the traffic, and also I can really see that there's a huge number of buildings that have been built very recently, and it seems that there's construction sites everywhere. And then when I look especially the center of Ulaanbaatar, I was really amazed by a lot of the new buildings, the daring architecture in a way, the height in a way, and I was thinking that one of the subjects in Europe that you can read quite often, especially on the business pages of newspapers, is that the whole of Asia is developing really fast compared to Europe. And when I'm looking Ulaanbaatar and going around in shops and so on, I can really understand this because there are certain things that here are quite advanced compared to, let's say, Finland, but especially my other hometown, which is Berlin, because the Germans are so old-fashioned in many ways. And for instance, in Germany, in Berlin, there are still in many restaurants you can only pay cash. They don't even have credit cards a possibility. So this is the impression, which again I think shows this our condescending attitudes sometimes to Asia, that we don't see the rapid change here, which is apparent when you scratch a little bit on the surface. And when I think of what I see, and then see a little bit of how I think that Ulaanbaatar looked like, let's say, 30 years or 25 years ago. So the rapid change is something that I see. And then when it comes to the festival, I think when it comes to any kind of film festival, which is not easy, but the thing is that I think one should always stress that film festivals are for audiences to see something different, to have also when they see them that there is usually something around them that like context, so that you give them a little bit more information than you usually give. On the best case, you even might have a filmmaker or filmmakers present to give it a context. But then, as important it is, I think that film festivals are really the part of the film culture where you get the influence from outside your country. It has a possibility for filmmakers to get together and dream together for new things. And these are the aspects of film festivals. And I learned that you actually have a cinema day now here in Mongolia. So the thing is that if the politicians say that there's a cinema day, it's to say to them that if cinema is important, if it really is the most important art, as it maybe also here it was 35 years ago. So it is important. The moving images are everywhere, and this is the film festivals are essential part of film culture, and they should be nurtured and helped to make things possible. And interaction between creative people is where the important part is. So you bring also the local film community together, and they watch things together, get ideas, tell them each other, and this is how creativity increases. So this is, I think, essential. And then, of course, what is difficult always is what you cannot tell from the outside is what is your potential audiences here. You have to try to get, I would say, the people who are working and interested in other arts also, and trying to tell them that cinema is also an important art and as valuable as the others. So,
Thank you. So I think we have covered quite a range of issues. You have this wide experience of being in the film industry for quite some time. You are doing things that already we are trying to do, now. And I hope that you're sharing your experience with us and this knowledge with the younger generation of Mongolian filmmakers, producers, as well as organizers, managers. It's very important, and I think we benefit from our interaction. And I think your participation, and also international jury, is also important, just to give the right perspective and assessment what really is happening here, and opening eyes of the audience with something new, as we try to do by bringing films from different countries, this time from 15 countries. It's a lot of efforts, a lot of even expenses for us, but we still believe that it is worth of doing. Somebody has to do this.
Exactly.
And from that standpoint, I think Art Council of Mongolia has done a great job to do this bravely, despite of all the challenges and difficulties. And we are very grateful that my colleagues, my younger colleagues, are doing a great job in this sense. And we are really happy to have people like you amongst us. So thank you very much. I wish you all all the best to both of you, and I hope to meet you again somewhere else, and maybe in Mongolia again.
Likewise, it's been a pleasure to be here. And one thing that I always like when it comes to film festivals or when you're working with film, the best thing what you can hear is when someone says that I did not know that this kind of film existed.
Yes.
And the thing is that we want to have a lot of people, but it's one individual at a time.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, for me, it's an eye-opener, and at the same time, I really appreciate and I give respect to a small team that put together this festival.
Yes.
And I think the industry day, to me, I find that it's something very useful if it is for the young filmmaker, because it was at the industry days that the few young filmmakers that I met here, because they come to me and they say, okay, can we have a chat with you, and then to share and talk, and that is actually a very good platform for them. And to them, many of them, is also their first time to hear that there is a nomad film, and you have something where you have the train to Gobi, and something that they can look forward to. So I think that should be something that it's part of the festival that actually do make a difference and very helpful to the young filmmakers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
За баярлалаа.